Hello everyone, how you all doing? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about Warzone. Actually staying alive on the quick match ladder, a leaderboard of Warzone. So I've been playing quick match a lot for the past few months. One of the few things that I still play on Warzone. That used to be called Warlight. I'm currently in ranking 48. I used to be a little bit higher. I was almost reaching min 34, I remember that much. And I was around 1330. And I've been dropping a little bit and fluctuating up and down. And I figure it could be interesting to show some of these more close matches that made me lose ranking, but also the ones that helped me remain on the top 50 of quick match. So I'm going to show you a couple of games and just go over them real quick, and hope you guys enjoy it, and let me know in the comments below if you think this format works or if it doesn't work. And if you have any specific games you've played against me and you want me to cover some games, I'll try to do it now and again. So a few of the games that really annoyed me a little bit. You can see that I was winning against people that weren't really that much known. One that really set me back a little bit was recently against Conquistadors. Conquistadors is an old player. I played against him a lot of times. And we were facing off on Treasure Map. I sort of know Treasure Map well, so I wasn't that afraid of Conquistadors. But you're gonna see what happens. So usually hotspots on the treasure map is the +2 on Skull Beach and the +2 on Diamond Pass. These ones in particular were very overcrowded with picks. I decided to try a risky 1-3 play on Flatlands, and if I prioritize that one, because you can tell that Skull Beach also has first turn no deployment bonus if you take into account forbidden footpath. So I figured if I get this one, I should be able to get Flatlands without any deployment whatsoever, which will give me an advantage in taking control of this. So I don't care if he has forbidden footpath, because I can stronghold in Elephant Graveyard. It's a bit of a risk. It's 50-50 to get this +1, this first pick. He could also place it first pick and I lose it, and then my game plan is pretty much screwed. Would have to rely on getting 2 picks here and maybe getting Glittering Gorge or Destiny Dig on first turn with a heavy deployment. So that was my plan. It's not the best plan, but it's the one I could come up with. There are other alternatives that could have sort of worked. I saw, for example, the Hidden Valley combo, but I've really valued the position on the hotspots. There's also this combo in Silver's Gorge. I also went for it as a backup plan, but it's too late, so late on the pick phase that it's very doubtful that I was gonna get it. I'm gonna show you what would happen, what we got, and it's our perspective. Here we go. So this is what I knew at this point. I knew that I got my 1-3 4, and I'm like, what? 4? So where the hell is he? That doesn't make any sense. He has 1 in the Forbidden Footpath for sure. He's not stupid. Maybe he has one of the combos, 4+3. Maybe he's in Hidden Valley. So I decided to move forward, and why is this skipping? Okay, first turn I finished this, and I figure, okay, he's in footpath and is just holding out, so I need to go strong there. That's what I did. I went there with 6, and I also tried to finish Skull Beach just in case. And I see him coming up from Drooping Pool. I'm like, okay, so he has Silver's Gorge. Maybe he did the combo in Jungle Nightmare, and he has another position in like the Buried or Way of the Dead, something like that. Something that would make sense. So I play this out. I deploy hard. I predict that he's gonna go into the lair just because I have more income for sure. I have the best possible deployments, so it's impossible I don't have best income. So I predict that he's gonna flank and keep expanding, which he does. So I do this nice prediction here. I get him with 2 and 7. So clean. Game should be won at this point. I was thinking, ho ho ho, Conquistadors, you are fucked. So what do? I am Mr. Smarty Pants and I deploy in Southern Landing to keep expanding. And this was my crucial mistake. You can see the well, you can see the gameplay. I deploy just 5, and I assume that I will get first turn from Wall of Skulls into Drooping Pool, which I don't. He uses order priority, or he gets first order. And I did transfer only, thank God, otherwise I would totally be screwed. And I don't transfer that. I finish my bonus down there. And this gives me a little bit of an advantage. I even tried to flank there. I was assuming he wouldn't, like, there attack me first turn. And I would have, like, double position. So yeah, that was the crucial turn. I missed that part. And from here on out, I assumed I probably still have more income than he does. So I'm going to try to bully him out of Drooping Pool with some predictions. So that's what I do. I deploy full. I hit him hard. And that was good enough. Or not quite good enough. He tries to hit me. Still tries to flank. But I don't have enough deployment there to actually get it. So I'm left with 1. And now I have to do another prediction. I know that this is cycle based, so he probably has first turn now. Let me check. Well, I don't know for sure. Well, I knew for sure here that he had first turn, so here I had first turn. Here he will have first turn, and this is why I deployed like I did. I deployed here and there. I assumed he was going to go to the lair, and I would just get Drooping Pool, clean him out. But he was smarter than me. He just delayed a lot more than I did. I should have delayed better. This was a huge mistake on my part. So these 2 mistakes were that cost me the game. The first one, that I let Drooping Pool slide, and here I didn't do enough deployments. I could easily have done like extra deployments on Ashen Wasteland and Elephant Graveyard and swap between both of them and then hit him, and that would have been enough to or probably enough to get it. Like, we can switch perspectives now, and you will see where he actually was. He actually started in Butterfly Island and Crypt Island and Silver's Gorge, which was weird. This is not what you should start. I'm gonna go to the beginning just so you guys see his actual picks. 1-2, so he has, it's a first turn bonus, so that's okay. And then 3-4 here, which is not advisable at all. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. I guess he just wanted safe income. I don't know. So he expand this. I'm gonna show all the perspective. So you can see the income. I have income advantage as I was predicting. Even here, I still had income advantage, so I had good call into hammering him, or doing the prediction. And I had this such a good position, and I just let it slip away because I was greedy and wanted to keep expanding. A lot of games on Treasure Island, I feel like I lost them because I was out expanded. Like, I focused too much on trying to break the enemy's bonus instead of keep expanding. And it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell where is the perfect turn that you should hammer and when is the turn that you should expand and risk the giving the advantage or the stack advantage to your opponent. So this was a hard call, and I made the wrong call in this particular game. He went hard. He was the desperate move, and he capitalized on that. He got a good position, and you can see the next turn he actually kept expanding, which was weird how he had enough income for all that. You can see that he deployed enough to stay alive there and still expand. Even with me hitting full hard. So he was already too far ahead on income at this point. And from here on out, it's just a lost game from my behalf. I try to blockade desperately. I just blockade there and try to hold on to Wall of Skulls, but he already has too much income for me to be able to do it. I need to expand to new places, and it's like too much things for me to get some income back, and that's how I managed to do the loss. So 2 crucial mistakes there on Treasure Island, and this cost me quite a lot. It cost me 9.6, which is weird because Conquistadors should be higher on the ranking by now, but apparently he is not. So I took a bit of a beating there from losing against him. Uh, Another game that I lost very stupidly was against Erik. It's Bomb Georgia, and you can see here the picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I wanted to control. I wanted position in Guria, and I wanted to control Raka Lechkumi and give him Osvaneti. And this seemed alright. I saw some decent bonuses here, but it felt like you had to deploy too much to get there, and you probably would get eliminated from these two positions. So I went for this one. There was no really good bonus here on out. Actually, I'm seeing now Abkhazia, which also might have been good. Like have 1 here, 1, 2, 3. You would end up with some leftovers though, like here and here, which would not be good for Georgia bomb. So let's see what we got. See, I got what I wished for. So far so good. Now I only had to eliminate him from Ozurgeti and expand like hell, and the game should be mine. So let's see what happens. I deploy full heart, I blockade my excess, and I managed to get him on Ozurgeti. I was expecting him to just blockade or something. I got it, so good. I thought, okay, the game is won. I just need to get Chokukrati and then expand to one of the other two, Northern Zamgreto or Southern Zamgreto. And then from there on out, I'll go through Java into Alkori and just wreck Manus. And this is where I misplayed. At this point, I shouldn't have just been tapping around. I should have actually expanded into somewhere. Probably into Eastern Oni so I could get into Java the next turn. I decided to just tap around to get Western Imireti next turn, which I did get. But you see that at this point I have more income than he does, but he has some excess troops. So we're pretty much even on income. 3, 3, 3, and I have 3, 3, 2. So I'm actually behind 1 on income. But it's okay because I have slightly better position than he does. He needs to go through a lot of things to be able to challenge my income, while I can go to Java and then from Java to Alkorik. I should have started traveling to the east already at this point, and I did. I went to Eastern Sakari, but I was too greedy. I tried to get also the Adjara here on the bottom while tapping things, preparing for faster expansion later on. And just making sure I don't have any excess troops so I can fully deploy in case he shows up in Java. But he was expanding on the south, and that was smart of him. He did well. He finished the +5, so at this point he had huge income advantage. And unfortunately I was unlucky in Java. I attacked later or earlier than he did, and I ended up not having the position, but I blockaded behind me, so it wasn't that bad. I only had 1 border left to take care of. And at this point, I could just get more Northern Zagrevo, wait for him to show up at Eastern Oni, keep expanding, and now I should have enough income to be able to hold him back in Oni while still expanding. That's what I did. Still tapping around, holding my position there. You can see the income. I have slightly income advantage, and he can't finish South Ossetia, or he actually can, but he doesn't dare because of the blockade there, and he would have a double border. So instead he goes, why did he jump? Oh, because it's a map thing. So he went to Karaguli while I'm still tapping around, and he sees the 1 there, so he knows that I'm there already. And he goes there slowly. He keeps banging on my door there, which is good. He manages to get a nice stack advantage there because I used this turn to expand. And at this turn, he has a problem because he has too much deployment. It's the problem with the typical problem with Bomb Georgia. If you have too many troops on the front line, you're not doing anything with them, and you reach army cap. So at this point, I had a hard decision. Should I protect Raqqa or should I protect Western Imereti? The game already seemed quite dire for me at this point. But I decided to keep playing anyways, try to have some sort of advantage, and this is what happened on the next turn. I decided to blockade the entirety of Rakashimru. He manages to get... Well, why does this... There's a bug here, Fizzer. When you're already here, when you click next, it jumps through the whole thing. It should... Okay, so I should learn to click here? No. I should go back and then click forward. Yeah, okay. So he deploys 50-50. And since I have more armies because of the army cap, I managed to get Baghdadi and I blockade around. All things considered, I should have blockaded more or higher in Lanketi and not so much in Ambrulari to make like a safer position here. And this one I would defend with things, but I needed both defended and I still needed troops to attack in Baghdadi, so this is what ended up happening. At this point, he should have blockaded all of these things behind him. I don't know why he didn't do that. That was silly play. If you're playing on Georgia bomb, always blockade your leftovers behind you. He could even have finished South Ossetia at this turn, which would also have been somewhat smart. He didn't do that. Instead, he tried to deploy hard and bring his stack down, which is also something you shouldn't do. It takes too long, and then you don't have the deployment to put it on your front line. So you should always blockade, even if it's a very large stack, or especially if it's a very large stack. Consider it as like protection against the enemy coming towards you. If you blockade, especially if you're close to your border, do a big stack and then just go through another area. And I decided to dissimulate here. It's pretty much what I also did. I did a huge blockade and just sidestepped, having like two fronts that he would have to contend with. I didn't quite know exactly what I would do here. I would go minimally on both of them. I think it was my answer in the end. Let's see what I did. I blockaded south, and I didn't do anything on top, actually. I just used it. I kept expanding on the north because I knew I was behind. I attacked once again. I attacked minimally and blockaded behind me. I wanted to make sure. I knew he was probably still there and didn't blockade away, but I wanted to force him to come into Tikulibi because I would have income or deployment advantage at that point. But I didn't realize he was doing South Ossetia. I thought he would have blockaded behind him and not have enough troops to do this, so he would be behind on income. So after all this is said and done, he's going to finish that +5 South Ossetia and have enough income to be able to hang on in the Tikubi. He should have blockaded behind him though. He does indeed blockade at least that one. I guess he's going to move the big stack. For me, that's still an error. You shouldn't be moving your stack around. You should blockade him and redeploy. So I had stack advantage. I tried to hammer him out of position, but at this point I realized that I probably lost the game. He was with too much income for me to break him. If he hadn't finished South Ossetia, I would have been able to take that. And with that, I would have been able to blockade behind me and come like from the north somehow. But at this point, I realized that I was in a bad position. You can see here he blockades behind him, but he has enough armies left. He is able to stranglehold against me. So at this point, I knew the game was lost. He just needed to flank into Ambrulari, and I was doomed. He kept hammering me though, which was weird. I would have just flanked if I was him, and I had these leftovers on a bad position that I couldn't like get rid of. At this point, the game was over. He just flanked me, and it was impossible for me to counter him. So weird game that should have been won ended up just getting lost in the end. So well played, Erik. You managed to persevere, and this was like a huge blow to my elo. I lost 10 with this. It's the problem with Quickmatch. When you're high tier, if you lose a match, you lose like a lot of elo, regardless of your opponent. It needs to be like someone ahead of you for you to lose not so much elo to compensate. Like even if I win all these other games, still ends up biting you in the ass. Played against Jojo on Volcanic Island. I also did a misplay here. Was trying to be Mr. Smarty Pants and get a triple pick on Unyopo, considering I would like probably not get my 1-2 here, or he would counter me somehow. And he didn't counter me. I was like, oh, okay. So, he didn't counter me. So I can get my first turn bonus, and he knows I'm here, so he's gonna show up somewhere here. I assumed it would be from Chemo. And I'm not sure if I knew about Iwaho. Let me double back, see my picks. I got my 4, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, so I didn't have any intel whatsoever. And he did a nice cluster pick that helps a lot getting your income faster. So we just finished that. I saw him this turn in Iluma, so I knew he was double picking here somewhere, but I didn't know he had all of his picks there. I still thought he had one in Kipali or Chemo. And at this point, I just decided to out-expand him because I had a good position to do that. I could just sit here. I knew I had more income than he does because I had the first turn bonus, and I expanded on Luella. I noticed that he was not in P.E.K.K.A, or at least not revealing his position. So I decided keep expanding. Let's get Huhomi instead. I did that, and then I saw him in Kiwekamau, and at this point I was in trouble. I realized that if he has Oiwu, if he has Kiwekawa, he probably also has Niwekai. And from there, if he comes to Lihiupo, I am pretty much screwed. So I decided to out-delay him and expect him to come to Lihiupo, or me getting it first and having an extra army there. And it was a good call. Good number of deployments everywhere. I also doubled back in Waleu in case he would storm into Ali. I would be able to hold out. I managed to get lucky here, get the last action. So I have now good position, even though we are double bordering. And I ram him, and we are equaled in both places. So from this position on, I could still break it through. I just had to guess the right door and do a trade. If I do a trade at this point, it's okay. So you're gonna see what happens. So it fully deploys on the top, and I deploy 50-50. And I do the stupid thing, which is not attacking. I thought he would actually deploy more in the south. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, actually. I just, I tried to expand and get one more card piece. I just thought he would 50-50, and I would blockade behind me, so I would end up with a good position. Still having stacks. I didn't account for him deploying fully and attacking here. I should have attacked something on Niwekai, even if it was with 3, but I thought I would risk too much if he would like fully deploy there and attack me last action. So in retrospect, I think this was a bit of a mistake. I don't know what I could have played better. Probably out-delay him somehow. Out-delay him and attack one of the fronts, because it would be obvious that he would try to slam me, go for the trade. Or maybe not so obvious. I mean, if I was in his position, I don't think I would have attacked. I think I would have tried to clean me up from the south. Not sure. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think on the comments below. What would you have done on this specific turn here that we see? If you are here, what would you have done on this turn 5? If you were me or if you were him? Clearly, I need a trade, and he doesn't need a trade. He needs to hang on. That's what he needs. So yeah. So this was the crucial. I ended up blockading on the south, but he has Now, huge income advantage. I predict wrongly that he would try to wipe me out from the south. Manages to break through, and the game is pretty much over. I could still try to out-expand him from the east, but I decide that I just won't be able to do it. I try to get a lot of income to compensate getting broken, but he predicts that well and attacks me last turn and ends up breaking alley. And with this, I'm completely broken. I decide to give up. Technically speaking, I could still try to like out expand him, try to get Wekeli and Halei before he can reach Iwalu, and remain in my position on the east and try to break him somehow while I keep expanding. So it was still a possible game, but I was morally depressed at this point, and I just decided to give up. But I could still have won this game or recover. But yeah, the critical turn was clearly turn 5. So yeah, these were the 3 games that I wanted to show. There was one more actually, but I think I'm starting to go a bit long, so I will leave the video at this. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to post the comments below if you liked, if you didn't like, if you think this is like way too long, if this is okay. Let me know what you think of the format itself. Does it make sense for me to keep posting these videos? That's it for me. See you next time. Bye bye everyone. Take care.